listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. I was just in the car wash there. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. It seems like it's a little loud. All right, let me see there. That looks better. So I wasn't going to broadcast tonight at all, but then I got my old lav mic on or not lav. What is this one? Well, yeah, the lav one or something like that. Or wait, the wireless go. No, one of those Rode mics. So I wasn't going to broadcast. I came out of my place of residence driving down the road, and it's not exactly only the sensation. God does something to identify it as a message, as a prophecy, as a need, a healing requirement, that kind of thing. So I was in my lane, and I was all of a sudden a wrong way driver. I said, "Wait a minute, I'm not a wrong way driver." But then God sent the message and said, "You need to tell everyone we need to heal wrong way drivers." Because I was in that. What happens is God connects. What I think happens is God connects you to that scenario or the scenarios. Because a lot of times it's a curse that powers up while people power down, and then that's what happens. Okay, mental illness exists, but what happened on that train is hate powered up while was his name Neely, I think, or something like that. He powered down. So we call that mental illness. But again, I'll tell you, these spycraft operators know exactly what I'm speaking about because they trigger it that way. They curse off the person and say they're mentally ill, and then they have connections to this thing that they create. They just try to send me a stop message. Like, don't say anything, you son of a. Nah, they shouldn't be around anyone. I mean, they should be under the prison. They're the type of that's the type of people they are. Oh, but they're the best of the best. Okay, keep telling us that. Keep telling us the good people are dangerous, and we'll continue to show you what danger is. Continue to pull the rug out from underneath everybody's life that you hate, using criminal enterprise and worse, including government. And God will continue to pull that rug out from all of you. That's pretty much the only thing I saw, but I saw it pretty clear. The only thing that didn't happen was there's the collision. God got me there. See, that's a good got me. But you're all doing that crazy stuff. And yes, there were people that knock on my wall as a kind of psychological torture and knock on things all over the place to try to drive me crazy. And then what they do is they reduce what they did actually here was starting to reduce the volume of it. That's part of the psychological torture. Oh, they're Americans, believe me, but they're not Americans, if you know what I mean. Oh, I had my headlights on. I see. I'm sorry. I had my. I couldn't figure out why this guy got out in front of me. I had my bright lights on, but he did the right thing. Didn't road rage. See what time it is here. I guess I can go the other way. Using up a lot of gas trying to get all these pieces, parts for my project. Oh, I didn't see the accident part. I just saw kind of like psychically in the mind's eye headlights, and then the sensation of wrong way, and then but I never saw the collision. But I just saw it right when I had the thought that I didn't see it. But that's God. So I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, that was pretty funny, huh? Yeah, the Texas thing. When they said, and I second that it was a ruse, with them saying that he looked like she was cooperating. Like when once I found out where it all went, I'm like, was that a ruse to just get her to keep going until they figured out where he was? And I don't think it was at this point because she appeared to be cooperating. But I would have thought you were looking at her phone. That's why I jumped to the next level. I thought you were already looking at her phone. So I figured, I just start sweating her. That was a little off, but it still would have worked. She'd have freaked out. Big marshals glaring at her. A couple of the FBI guys look like marshals, actually. A guy with a beard kept like transmitting, but I couldn't figure out what he was doing. Like I didn't receive it. I just could tell he was like, and he doesn't have to have present mind. I'm sure he's a larger person inside. That's pretty much why I was there, I guess. I don't know who he is, but him and then the woman with the derriere somehow she connected. They posted that photo again today. Oh, look, it's your ass. All across the newspaper. All right, so this person here had a law enforcement identity, and it could be a cop, but I don't think it is. But it could be. That one I wouldn't know for sure. The windows look to pickup truck here in Shawnee, near Flint and Shawnee Mission, which means crooks can have an ID like that. Again, there was this taxi service in where was that? Cockeysville. But you can't see it until they abuse you. Then you see a lot more. I mean, you can see it once you wake up, I guess. But I woke up in the middle of an execution, so the taxi service, whoever owned it, was like corrupt with the cops, had law enforcement identity. So what's happening is, even though there were no cops around, like stalking you, the taxi service would stalk you. I mean, this is really how the world runs. I'm not like crazy. I mean, you're trying to drive me crazy, and I'm tortured. So if you see something in it, like the mirror thing, like you're not really afraid of the mirror. It's just fear. It's a metaphysical. And when it amps up high in your body, sometimes it. So like if you're afraid of the mirror, your own reflection kind of thing, then you have to be healed of fear because they'll trigger it at the least um, opportune moment. I mean, you might be at a bank trying to arrest a bank robber, or if you're just a regular person driving, and you have to think quick, make avoid whatever it is. They'll that fear will come up. Something for work, but plenty of people are part of it. You're not afraid of the mirror or your own reflection. They curse you with fear, and if you are, if it it'll trigger when you look at your reflection sometimes. Or maybe they do it because you're afraid of your own shadow or your own reflection, whatever. I mean, they're weird like that, and so are demons and Satan. So what was the other thing I was saying? That thing in Texas. Yeah, I mean, I put a little bit of information there on Abbott's page, just in case he wants to do something instead of waste money on buses. I mean, I'm hoping you all see it. I mean, I've been posting it for years, and it's the same system I brought up after I think is the Odessa shooting, or a similar system, or maybe the same system. I think I did say command center. I think, but I can't remember. But at this point, because we have supposedly going to have command centers, so what you do is you have a county one, you have a state one, and they communicate and they talk, and these things go back and forth. Anytime there's a firearm interaction, the command center should be brought in. I mean, it can get a little busy, but it doesn't have to be. You do the best you can. Again, that's the way I figure out how to do things and you know, how to fix things versus how to make people afraid to make an error or engage in an error. Well, because it's Murphy. If something goes wrong, then it's Murphy. It's like the first thing I ever saw in the Academy. I think was Murphy's Law, and I couldn't quite grasp it completely. I was asleep, but I remember seeing it. Then when I woke up, I'm like, oh. Again, that's why I don't go after people. It's Murphy's Law. The system's broken, or people that are working for me, or something like that. So again, I mean, you should have a command center, and they talk back and forth, and then you have the control forum is something new. I guess I don't think I spoke about that. I figured you all could figure something out. I mean, but my neighbor, he's from Houston. He's from Ethiopia, and he's like a soil tech or something like that. And he's been in Iraq for many years. He just got back. It's, I guess, his first new job after that. And he said, yeah, he's not supposed to have a gun. He's an alien, He's not supposed to be here. So that was kind of that's kind of the break point. Now I know, and again, I know what areas are like, what those areas are like, and everything. So I'm not totally freaking out about it, but that's why the state and this county should have oversight on any firearms related interaction, even if it's the governor. Just go through the motions, and that's that. Because that's why stuff doesn't work. And then they go, oh, we need red flag laws. What makes you think the red flag laws are going to work any better than the laws we have? So we have to build a check and balance system. I mean, that's the United States. I guess you're all not United States people or something. Using the Soviet system of cut their head off. I used too much magnesium oil. Now my body's weepy. My diaphragm's weak, and I'm like, burp, burp. So again, I know people are watching my page, my profile, so they want to arrest me for anything or authorize another 70 years of surveillance. So that was a weird case, but the laundry thing was funny. Well, for two things. One, that was I was on a fugitive thing with. I don't remember what the guy was. I think he was living with this white. He was a black guy with a white dancer girl, and it was just bizarre. First, we had a transgender person. I guess that I don't know if that was. I guess it'd be transgender person nowadays. We call it that. We were at the front door trying to get into the apartment or complex. It's just like a city one, right down the street from our office, I think. And this transgender person walks up to us, and at first we were like chilled about it. We were just trying to focus on getting in, and then finally we're like, "Get out of here!" I forget what the person said. It made everybody angry. I don't know what it was, but then that's the first part that happened. Then we got inside, when we had to like try to figure out where this apartment was because it wasn't like normal, and it was just like an old, one of those old buildings, row things, and we knocked on the door. I think this was it, and the dancer comes out, and then like she's not wearing like much, like a nightie. Oh no, that's right. It was after we got him, and but she was like freaking out, and the thing is, she had to put his socks on and stuff, and she didn't have any like underwear on, and she's bending over. I'm like, like that's like the weird stuff that happens in law enforcement system. But she was freaking out. She goes, I think I forget what it was, but the thing was, we went in. I think it was this case, and we went in, and they walked past him. He was in a pile of clothes. So I kicked the clothes and went, "Dud." Thunk. It was like a thunk. I didn't kick it hard, but I kicked it enough force and it went clunk. And then, so that part about him being in laundry, but then I said Brian like slumped over like Brian Laundry. Well, that just shows God knew where he was. I mean, it's a strange thing for all of you, but God actually shows that he can see these things. It's just a matter of whether he can communicate it. Or knew where he would be because of course he wasn't in the laundry the whole time. Now God does stuff like that to me all the time to show that he could, but it's like whack like that. It's the only way he can communicate. So, see anything else? Look, they're cursing me right now. They're just sickos, man. Every last one of them. But we arrest people. We do 911 calls. Like a mafia takes over law enforcement. That way they can say that's what they do. I'm running out of juice here. This battery's not powerful enough to broadcast, and well, it's my hub. I got one of those 15-watt hubs. I gotta try to find my other hub. It's only like 5 watts or something. Oh, that one shooting. It's a family shooting. So again, it looks different because the individual ran throughout the town and did it instead of a murder suicide at home. So again, that's just a murder suicide. I mean, yeah, it is an active shooter kind of thing, a mass shooter, but it's a murder suicide. Those always happen. Not that we want them to, but um, that's not a big deal. They tried to play it up like it was a a big deal. It's not. It's one of those things that always happens. All right, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.